There's a lot of people who don't get a lot of the things that I do in my life. My children don't understand a lot of the things I do. They don't understand why I meditate. I meditate every morning. A lot of people think that's really silly. But I don't care if they think it's silly, and I don't have to get them to understand what I get out of it. It is my way of going within and discovering a higher part of myself, and I go there. And now I have taught all of the people in my life that that's the way it's going to be. And when a stranger comes along, or a family member who isn't around, and they think it's absurd that I'm going to go meditating when everybody else is going off to breakfast, then I know I've got one more person who is trying to victimize me and get me to not do something that I want to do. And I just simply don't go that way. And learn to accept that other people are going to label you in a certain way. Other people are going to think you're weird. Others are going to think you're freaky and strange. And that's okay. There's a lot of people out there who think that about me. And it's fine. That's just their attitude. That's their belief. And I have no interest or need to get them to understand me. And whether you understand me or not is really of very little consequence. And that's the whole message of this section, is to know that people are going to try all of their might with I don't understand, and all of the little substations of I don't understand to get you to be their victim and do things the way they want you to. Don't buy into it, and you'll find yourself not explaining yourself anymore. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to allow yourself to be in a position where someone else is demanding to be understood by you. There's some things that are very simple, some very simple little clues that I use in my own life and in pulling your own strings that I'd like to share here with you. Under the heading of being quietly effective and knowing you're never going to be understood. First is that shrugging is a virtue. If you could just learn the art of the shrug. I like Ayn Rand's title, Atlas Shrugged. Atlas holding up the whole world and just shrugs. And the whole idea of not having to be in a position to defend yourself, or to be understood, or somebody's demanding something from you, and when you could just sort of shrug your shoulders and say, well, I don't understand. I just don't understand, and that's okay. My wife and I do this to each other all the time. I mean, she does the craziest things in the world, and vice versa. I mean, she thinks what I do is crazy too. I mean, she believes in what she's doing and believes that that's the way a house has to be run, for example. She makes the beds first thing in the morning. I mean, that to her is just her way. I have lived under the philosophy that it's not any healthier psychologically to get into a made bed than it is to get into an unmade bed. But she makes the bed. I don't understand somebody getting out of bed in the morning and making the bed, but I don't have to understand. It's not necessary for me to understand. I don't have to get into a you're wrong and I'm right attitude toward it. It's just a simple shrug. If you want to make the bed, that's terrific. I'll even help you if you want to. Just let it go. You don't have to. I don't have to understand that. She puts the glasses in the cupboard with the lips going down. I put them facing up. I don't understand that. How could anybody face them down? But that's the way she does things, and that's perfectly all right. And you know something? Life is full of those little things. Everywhere you go, you're going to encounter people who do things their own way. And that's really what makes the world go round, that uniqueness, that specialness in people. So if you just shrug at it and stop telling yourself that I have to be right and I have to make somebody else wrong in all of my interactions with them, just shrug. Just shrug. Quietly shrug your shoulders and say, they have a right. They're on their own path. They have a right to do what they want to do. And you don't have to be understood. And when you get into that mindset of not needing to be understood all the time, then you're not going to be explaining yourself and having somebody else explain themselves to you over and over again endlessly. If you're just blaming them, then you're waiting for them to change in order for your problems to go away. And that's like if you drop your key inside the house and you look outside in the street for it. I mean, why would you look outside when the solution is inside? If you dropped it inside, you got to find it inside. And what you have to learn to do is develop an inner candle flame that never flickers, though the worst goes before you. You must know that all of the problems, all the difficulties, all the victimization that you may feel in your life, all of the strings that are being pulled by somebody else, are really things that you have allowed up until now. And now you make a recommitment to your own excellence, or your own non-victim status, if you will. So you want to teach other people how you want to be treated. You teach them with behavior, not with words. You become very aware of when they are trying to victimize and control you, and you put a stop to it. It's really important to develop a quiet mind when it comes to when it comes to all of this. A quiet mind is a mind that is at peace, a mind that doesn't judge. It's like if you could spend an hour a day in meditation. The great French philosopher and scientist Pascal said that all of man's troubles stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone. You sit quietly in a room alone and go within and discover that higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it, whether you call it God or soul or spirit or Louise, it doesn't make any difference what you label it. If you go within and discover that and spend time each day inside of yourself, just peacefully being there and asking the questions, how may I serve? And what is my purpose? And what can I do to make this life a better one? And how can I serve people rather than be victimized by them or victimizing anybody else? You find that developing that kind of a quiet, peaceful, serene mind is something that will allow you to process the whole world in a more peaceful way.